Yes.
Good morning, Newcastle. Yes, I'm on air. That's reassuring. I came in, we've lost one of the monitors, so I'm kind of winging a bit, and I've not had a great week. It's been pretty stressful, so this show is, again, radically unprepared. But welcome to the Nerd Show. The time is, of course, just past 10 o'clock. That was public service broadcasting and go. I thought a great way to start the show, and I needed those 4 minutes because I was desperately trying to set everything up, as I just said. Monitor off, the headset was turned down. Had to turn that back up, speakers off, everything was all over the place. But I'm here now, and we're doing, well, something. We'll keep rolling some music first. Like I said, it's been a very busy week for me, 3 exams, so time to prepare for this show has been minimal. I'm doing it on the fly, so getting some research done literally now. I have got a few web pages and stuff up, but the computer problems aren't helping. Good thing I brought my Chromebook. Anyway, we're going to carry on with some tunes. This is Christine and the Queen and science fiction. That was Christine and the Queen's Science Fiction. Okay, I had an argument with myself before putting that on. Well, the other day while I was choosing the songs for the show. I know I actually planned these in advance. Well, I didn't. I did a bit last week, but not enough. But this week I have got a much longer list of songs, probably more than I'll need to play, which is insurance, safety. Anyway, when I was planning for the songs, I had a pretty deep intellectual argument. No, I just thought, should I play the French version or the English version? Because of course Christine is a French artist, and of course all these songs we've written came out as an album 2 years before, I think, in French, and then we got them in English a couple of years after that. Like I said, I ended up going with the English version just because, I don't know, I think it's if you've never heard of the band, it's a good way to get into something if you can hear what they're talking about. Though the French version is more about science fiction than the English version, which is, I mean, they're both called science fiction. Anyway, I'm rambling. Anyway, my week has been a thing. 3 exams. I'm surprised first years have it this rough, but then I'm studying physics, so what do I expect? That's the real truth. Yesterday was 2 exams back to back, which was some of the craziest stuff I think I've ever done. It was, I mean, the exams themselves weren't hard. It was just getting there and doing them and working through it. Anyway, enough about me. I'm a boring individual. I'm a nerd. We're not interesting, are we? Anyway, today's show theme is supposed to be the history of nerdom. That was the plan. It is the plan, and I'm going to roll with it. I've got a few websites and stuff up to work from it. I'm going to keep trying to come up with themes for each show. I do have a plan, but this is student radio, hey? No one has a plan for anything. We'll keep throwing another song in the works. This has been stuck on my brain all week. Mum, this goes out to you.
home of student radio in Newcastle.
That was Friday I'm in Love by The Cure, this year's Glastonbury headliners, the real ones, as opposed to The Killers and Stormzy, if I'm correct. It was a while ago, Glastonbury. It feels like a while ago, but that's because we've been here since, and life seems to drag while you're at uni. Okay, we're going to move on to some of the actual show plans, which is, I know, a rare occurrence. If I had a jingle at this point, I would play it, but I still haven't got any personalised jingles for this show, which is really annoying. I keep meaning to make some. I think I've got one sorted on a USB stick back at my dorm. Even if I had it today, I couldn't plug it into anything because, like I said, one of the computers is down, and that's the one we'd probably plug it into, I think. I'm going to have to talk to my producer about that. Anyway, so we are going to go into the segment of the show and have a quick chat about the history of Nerdom, because I thought that'd be a great way to do a kind of beginning show, is just to lay the foundations on Nerdom. This is an interesting one, actually. Who do you think first used the term nerd? Where's the first written recording of the term nerd? It doesn't surprise you when you think about it. It's actually from a Dr. Seuss book. It's a word that's kind of, come out of nothing, so it makes sense to come there. It comes from If I Ran the Zoo by Dr. Seuss. It's off just a nonsense word at that point. But yeah, that's the earliest recording. After that, it slowly becomes what it's used today. Around a year later, according to this, in Detroit area in America, obviously it starts in the US, and then we import it like we do with so many other things, like money. Wait, what? We don't import money from USA. Well, sometimes. Anyway, they adopted the nerd. That was kind of, like it is now, a way of telling people that because they're smart, they're idiots, if that makes sense. Like, looking down on people who are book smart. And it slowly developed from there, continuously going upwards. Things like the Save Star Trek movement became the first real movement of, like, mass nerdom coming together. That was 1968. And then, of course, after the time passes, it becomes more and more part of general culture. We'll keep moving through the ages of nerdom. We're looking at what a nerd looks like next. 1975 poster of it. I'm going to go through that because that looks like quite a fun thing. On the subject of nerdom, I didn't give you any Eurobeat last week. And this isn't a nerd show unless there's a tiny bit. I am sorry, Mum. I've given you the Cure. You're going to have to listen to this now. This is I Won't Fall Apart, Eurobeat version by Jagger. That one always freaks me out. Anyway, that was I Won't Fall Apart, the Eurobeat version by Jagger. That is, yeah, like I said, Eurobeat. Pretty crazy. Anyway, we're going to roll on to what I was just saying before the tune, which was this picture I found while searching the internet for What is Nerd. It comes from 1975. This is when microcomputers, home computers, were first on the scene, and the National Lampoon issued this poster firmly establishing the stereotype of what the word will now mean. So this was what nerd meant in 1975. Okay, we've got this up. Are you a nerd? I need a voice modulator for this. Ugh. Let's hope not. But just in case you have begun, you were there. Just in case you've begun to notice telltale signs, such as. Okay, and then it gives you this image of the nerd, and I'm going to go through a handful of them, which I think are quite funny. Obviously, there's some obvious ones which I'd say are still true to this day, which is like, reads too much. I mean, now, a lot of nerds never pick up a book. I know quite a few who would call themselves nerds who have not read since high school. Hi, guys, I know you're listening. Partly because you're the only people who are. Another one here says writes in 5 different colours. That's quite funny considering I hate writing in colours. Like, now that's the thing everyone does. Like, at high school, everyone's highlighting different things, and I'm like, I'll just write it in pen, thank you very much. The favourite bio project due for next month, I feel like that. Obviously not with biology, for physics, obviously. But, like, having done the project a week as soon as we got it, because it's just there, and I can get it done. So, yeah, that one's still pretty true. There's a label pointing to this. It's like it's got what looks like a college age, because remember America, college age student in the middle, and it just has a picture of his hand that says the word boga, and I'm like, ugh. No, I think we're a bit above that now. One of my favourite things in here is it says you have a likeness to word problems. Now, as a dyslexic, that baffles me, because that is far from the case. I have a distinct hatred of word problems, and again, I know quite a lot of nerds who hate word problems and are very mathematician. I mean, that's where we all, mostly physics students, computer science students. That's not necessarily true, and obviously someone listening is probably shouting at the radio doing history and would say they're a nerd, and that's fair enough. You almost definitely are. Anyway, after that lovely, poster, really representing and making it great came out, not long after that, Star Wars hit. On the subject of Star Wars, yeah, we'll get to that soon enough. Anyway, we're going to roll for one more song. This, again, so if you remember last week, I played I'm in Love with My Car from Queen, from the B-side of one of the most famous albums. This is another B-side of a great band. This is the Beatles. You've got to be North. The Beatles with Everyone's Got Something to Hide Except Me and My Monkey.
This is the home of student radio in Newcastle. This is NSI.
That was the Beatles with, what was it again? I've already lost it on the playlist, I'm an idiot. Oh yeah, Everyone's Got Something to Hide Except for Me and My Monkey from the Beatles. That was the White Album, of all things. I know, crazy. 1968. I'm not necessarily sure if it was a B-side, but it was definitely on the obscure, completely forgotten about tracks of the Beatles. The Beatles, great artists, not just for their major hits, a bit like Queen, have a lot of depth to them, a lot of really interesting stuff. That is pretty crazy, even for this standard. I'm going to make this a regular feature because I'm enjoying it. So B-sides of great albums that you've probably forgotten or have been lost to history, digging up big artists. So I guess, I don't know who's next, Bowie, Stones, I don't know who else. So another big artist to go through. Anyway, we're going to keep going over this little nerd timetable. The time is almost 10:30, so this is probably going to be the last section of this before I go on to the second half of the show, starting with Geek of the Week and going back to the Star Wars I mentioned. We will get to it. Okay, so not long after the 10 years after Star Wars, we'd kind of had it's a bit of a quiet period for nerds after the hype of Star Wars. We will get going on the sci-fi train. We hit the early 80s. Again, it's kind of again a bit of a quiet period for nerds till we get to the 90s. 90s is where things start going crazy. Home computers becoming a lot more general. Everyone having one. Again, the console reboom, I want to say, happened then. So we get the SNES was earlier than that. So the NES and the SNES were the late 80s. So yeah, gaming has now become a part of the nerd culture. Anyway, we hit the 90s and the internet kicks in, and of course, then we can find all our other nerds on there because we're the only people there, filling the place. After that, we hit 2000s, and at 2000s, all hell breaks loose for nerds. This is where we became popular. I guess this is the start of us becoming popular. Technology becomes a lot more popular. A certain iProduct and a certain Steve could arguably be very important for that one. But we will see. Well, we won't see. What am I talking about? Obviously, they did. That was the reason everybody had a phone. Everybody accessed the internet. And not long after that, Comic-Con and the Marvel Universe and all that stuff blew up big time. And suddenly everyone was a nerd and everyone wanted to be a nerd. And ever since then, it's actually become harder to be a nerd. It's become such a popular idea, nerdom, that it's no longer something in particular, if that makes sense. It's now something... It's harder to define, because you can't just say, I'm a comic book fan, because everyone's a comic book fan, at least a comic film fan. I think comic book fans are still pretty nerdy. You can't just say you're a sci-fi fan, because everyone likes Star Wars. You can't even say you're a gamer, because everyone likes Fortnite and Call of Duty. I mean, even I like Fortnite and Call of Duty Mobile. But that's by the by. It's a lot harder to define yourself. So I think we've gone back to books and what else? Books mostly has become and comics, physical media is a real defining aspect, and moved away from what has been pretty commercialization of nerdom. Yeah, great, good to be commercialized at all points, isn't it? Anyway, we're gonna go for one more song, and then it's time for the Nerd Show. This is probably when I kind of got my revival back into music at the end of sixth form. This song hit me. This was on Six Music. I was listening to a lot. Tic Tac Toe. Danjo Danjo.
Don't go so slow, you're wasting time.
That was Tic Tac Toe by Danjo Danjo, an absolute, like I said, a tune that got me back into music. Okay, so my older listeners, and by my older listeners I mean my parents, have been shouting at me for what I said about gaming. That is completely wrong. Obviously there is a lot more before the NES and the SNES. That's my, I don't know, my kind of 21st century view on things playing on me, because that's the second, because of course there was the gaming crash just before then, and before then there was tons of gaming consoles, Commodore 64 being an obvious example that my parents are screaming at me. Well, Mum's screaming at me right now. But anyway, that is kind of the end of that section. I'm going to move on to Geek of the Week. Again, my lack of sound effects is very annoying. I'm almost very annoyed about the screen problem as well, because I wanted to do a very clever background thing, but it doesn't look like I can. I'm honestly talking while trying to set it up. See if I can get this to work. There we go. Yes, it happened. We have the final trailer for Star... Well, I'm going to turn it off because you probably can't hear me. Anyway, yes, it's happened. We have the final trailer for the final part of the trilogy of Star Wars, the Disney edition, the commercial edition, are we going to try and make it even more commercial than the prequels? Okay, I wouldn't say it's that bad. The film series where we have no idea where our characters are going and what's going on, and that trailer just adds to it. We still don't know what anyone's plans are for this trilogy. No one seems to have developed since the first film. The first film was decent. I mean, it's not quite a remake of New Hope. It is pretty good. Okay, it was worth waiting for. The first film was pretty good. Okay, it was close to New Hope, but it ticked all the right boxes not to be. I mean, yeah, we had the Star Destroyer. It wasn't a Star Destroyer, that's the ships. I can't remember. The new Death Star, which was supposedly... Oh, yeah, it's not the same. It was just a Death Star. Anyway, first film, pretty much the same. Second film, nothing happened. Like, Empire Strikes Back was the best, okay? We're not arguing here. The best Star Wars film, and no one argues on that front. It was. Where its predecessor, its kind of copies in both prequels and, I guess, sequels, we can call them, and they're obviously sequels, were awful. And this one was particularly bad, because nothing happened. The rebels were lost at the start, and they were kind of lost at the end. No one really developed as a character, and the whole Luke thing was kind of beyond me. Anyway, this last film, Rise of Skywalker, the interesting question is no one left alive has that surname. I guess Kylo Ren, but he's Ben Solo. He's Solo's son. I guess he is Leia's son as well, which makes him a Skywalker removed. I mean, not by surname, but by genes. So I guess it's down to him to fill this. The main problem with the trailer is, from going to hearing Emperor's laugh at the end of like the teaser one, he's now got dialogue, and I don't think it's anything we've heard him say before. And it's like, oh no, they're going to bring him back. Oh, we don't need the Emperor, coming back. This is not his story. I understand I think he is also in every single one of the original six, the mains and the prequels. Like I say also because so is R2-D2 and C-3PO. Also, that scene with C-3PO is devastating. We have no idea what's happening. He says he's saying goodbye to all of his... taking one last look at all my friends. I am deeply disturbed, because how do you kill off a droid? You don't have to kill them off. So, unless they're just doing it because they want a tear shed moment? I don't know. Anyways, Disney... honestly, this is the last one I care about, because once this is done, they said the saga will end. But come on. Give them 5 years. We'll have at least 2 or 3 Star Wars stories in between, and then something else. Anyway, that is the end of my rant. I'm going to stop ranting about that, because I could probably do it for the next hour. Probably more structured if I'd have had time this week, but like I said. Okay, we're going to go for... This is pretty crazy. Actually, no, it's not. Let's not do that. Let's play an absolute tune. This, again, we're talking about songs that got me into songs. Listening to this on a record player take you back already, doesn't it? On an early morning. I mean, it doesn't take us back. We were never there. But my parents' record player, an early morning. How old was I? I can't remember. Anyway, this is Heaven 17 and Play to Win. Hold up, I've got to turn my... Oh no, it's that.
Play to win. to win. Play to win. And then he said, play to win. And then he said, play to win.
One needs a great deal more than this. Make a master plan. Century bars, but pretty space. Sex in fairyland.
Play to win.
How can you improve your life? Obtain the unobtainable. Boost your health, a jump refresh. Treat rockets up 10-10.
Play to win.
And then he said,
Play to win.
did you take a backseat when your kids were small? Shoot the movement to the word. Reverse and take the action.
Play to win.
Now shoot the action to the word. Make every minute count. Matching, cutting, see the curves. Step on heels and chance.
Play to win.
And then he said,
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 Play to win.
This is the home of student radio in Newcastle. This is NSI.
And that was Heaven 17, Play to Win. Heaven 17, amazing band. Absolutely amazing. Again, band got me into music. I would have played Penthouse of Pavement, which is the album that is from, and that's the title track, and it's the best song, but it is like 8 minutes long, and I can't put that on radio. The producer will shout at me, even though she's not here today. She's probably off. Hi. She's probably off somewhere in a dorm, I imagine, or she's a third year, so no, she'll be at her house. Anyway, whatever. That is Heaven 17, as I said, and they are coming to at Sage on the 9th of November. They're going to be with Squeeze, according to my sources. Because it's the 40th anniversary tour of theirs. 40 years, I know. Older than, I don't know, actually no, probably not older than most of your parents. Definitely not, because you're all at least older than me. Anyway, that was that. Anyway, we're going to carry on with Geek of the Week. There's one more topic I want to mention. And it also brings me on to a new rule I'm adding, which is my one allowed song from gaming week. This one is a kind of a cop-out because it's not even a song from gaming. But I will play the song, and then... Actually, no, I won't. Let's talk about the thing first. Okay. Fallout 76 and their new subscription service for what should be a part of the game is awful and disgusting. That's by the point. What I love is if you go to falloutfirst.com, which is the website that is the name of the subscription service they're going for, the website has been taken by fans before the company could get it. Okay, this is one of my favourite things about the internet. This is beautiful, and it is just like slanting it and anti it, everything. And I am really... It's quite funny to watch. Not a game... Fallout series was a really good series, if you've never heard of it. Hi, Mum. If you've never heard of it before, it was a really good series exploring the post-apocalyptic wasteland, which sounds like it'd be a bit crap. But the first 2 were really in deep, and then it had 3, which was awful, a spin-off one, which was great, 4, which was decent, and then it had this one, which is kind of an open world. It kind of took out all of the interesting, deep aspects of Fallout and just allowed you to nuke everyone, which was never the point. And then they're trying to add it in, but you have to pay, and it's a subscription service of $100 a year, which is madness. I wouldn't pay that much for any sort of subscription service. I don't think I do. I barely pay for any subscription service as it is. Anyway, we are going to we're not going to end the show. We'll have one more after this. This is from Fallout 4, but of course, it is a proper song as well. It's The Wanderer by Diano.
Oh, and I'm the type of guy who will never settle down. Where pretty girls are, well, you know that I'm around. I kiss them and I love them, cause to me they're all the same. I hug them and I squeeze them, they don't even know my name. They call me the Wanderer, yeah, the Wanderer. I roam around, 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 around. Oh, well, there's Flo on my left arm and there's Mary on my right. And Janie is the girl, well, that I'll be with tonight. And when she asks me which one I love the best, I tear open my shirt and I show a rosy on my chest. Cause I'm a wanderer, yeah, a wanderer. I roam around, 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 around. Oh, well, I roam from town to town. I go through life without a care, and I'm as happy as a clown. I with my 2 fists divine, but I'm going nowhere. Oh, yeah, I'm the type of guy that likes to roam around. I'm never in one place. I roam from town to town, and when I find myself falling for some girl, yeah, I hop right into that car of mine. I drive around the world. Yeah, I'm a wanderer. Yeah, a wanderer. I roam around, 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 around. Let's roam, I let go. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm the type of guy that likes to roam around. I'm never in one place. I roam from town to town, and when I find myself falling for some girl, I hop right into that car of mine, drive around the world, cause I'm a wanderer. Yeah, a wanderer. I roam around, 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 cause I'm a wanderer. Yeah, a wanderer. I roam around, 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 around.
This is NSR.
Just in case you had forgotten, this is indeed NSR, and that was The Wanderer. Yeah, I kind of chickened out. I can't be asked. I'm not going to put a proper video game song on because most of them don't have a beginning and an end. That one doesn't. It just fades out. But you know what I mean. It's a proper song. The time is 10 to 11. The show is sadly almost over. I should be leaving in 5 minutes because the other crew might be at the door waiting to for me to let them in. So we will probably put on one more song, and then I'll have to hit the playlist and hit the road. It's another busy week for me coming up. I've got computer-based assessments to hand in, and this is going to sound like nothing for third years and second years to be doing any subject, especially a maths and physics and a science, and anything with a lot of work to it. This includes a lot of hard subjects. Computer-based assessment, that goes live some point this week. A tutorial, another assignment to hand in. That's actually not that bad. At least it wasn't this week with 3 exams. But yeah, anyway, I'm a nerd. Hey, we're good. We're used to it. Okay, so we're going to top and tail the show with songs that have Go in the title, I guess. We started with Go by Public Service Broadcasting, and we're going to finish with Ready to Go by Republica.